I don't think that's updated, but I'll pull the one in their paper.
Huh?
They have them in their package, so I'll pull that one up.
Can I see it?
That's why it's hot.
Not no more.
You turned down? Good afternoon, everyone. I need a mic.
Can you show it on the Can you show it on the screen?
No, but we can get them to look down at their papers. I'll ask them to keep it all out.
Okay, the program's not on your report. Oh.
I don't think so. But it's better if they find it in their packet, because right now they don't think they have it.
Okay. Here.
What's up?
Ready?
Yep,
I'm just gonna do this.
right on.
Give
It's
it
rock
a
and roll.
nice introduction for you.
Thanks.
Do you need something to drink? Can I get down? Do I need to go get
No.
you tea?
I got water. He'll bring it up when I start coughing. I'll cough excessively and he'll move faster. Just kidding.
Hey everybody, good afternoon. Hope everybody enjoyed a wonderful lunch, and we appreciate you being with us for the next little bit for our last breakout session of the day. My name is Clay Howard. I'm the Director of Sales and Business Development at CI Web Group, and we appreciate having you with us. How many of you have actually attended one of our breakout sessions at a previous event? Yeah, a couple hands, all right, good deal, excellent. How many of you perhaps are our customers already working with us? Excellent, God, good to see you. Well, just so you know, we are the preferred digital marketing vendor for Day and Night in Ferguson. And Ferguson has done a beautiful thing the last several years of putting together a package or several different packages which give you as dealers the ability to take advantage of not only having a beautiful website that's very attractive, but also provides the different tools that are needed so that people can find your website. It's one thing to have a dynamic site that's beautiful and that looks like you're part of the world, right? If you're in Northern California, we've got sites there that have snow in the winter months. And then if you're here in Arizona, where I live in Phoenix, all of our sites there have cactus and so forth that look like the desert. But it's one thing to have the site, but then if the phone doesn't ring, then it kind of, there's no result, right? And so today what Jennifer's going to show you is how we use our 12-step roadmap to effectively make sure that you guys see a return in your investment. Effectively making sure that you have enough content on the website, that the content and the phrases and words that are there, that they're optimized properly, that you're utilizing social media to the fullest extent so that you can effectively use the internet to help grow your business. That's what we do. In front of you, there are some packets. I think it's a little green packet, and in that packet there's a few pages that are stapled together, and that's kind of the synopsis of our actual program that Jennifer's going to review with you. But if you can open that to, I believe, the next to the last page.
That's it. It's the one with the iceberg on the front. Blue and black? Yep.
Yeah, there you go. And the very next to the last page, at the very top, it says Preferred Dealer Marketing Programs for Ferguson. And I just wanted to briefly highlight how the program works so that as you start listening to Jennifer, she starts explaining the different aspects of what it is that we do and the services that we provide, you'll see that all these different services are provided in this package that Ferguson's put together for you. So on that page, you'll notice that we've got 4 different levels of programs or packages that we offer for day and night dealers. Most of our dealers are on what we call the basic website plan. Most are on what we call the standard plan. We're at $6,000 a year. Actually, Ferguson pays for half of your investment. So it's the only provider that we work with that's actually putting that much skin in the game, so to speak, right? So in addition to actually having a brand new website that's developed or designed for you, we also can help you with branding. We've had some dealers lately who are brand new in business, so they didn't have a logo. So we can help design a logo. We can provide the different formats so that you can utilize that logo for print or for truck wrapping. In addition to actually having a brand new website, you'll also notice that all of these packages include 6 pages of content. And Jennifer will explain why content is so important. But typically we have 3 pages for AC and 3 pages for heating that are included. Also local listings. She'll explain what local listings are. Most of us know Google, Yahoo, and Yelp. But did you know there are over 70 different local listings or different search tools that folks will utilize to find your type of business? Well, if you do not have a local listing set up already with, say, City Search or YP.com, then if YP.com is my search engine tool of choice, and I'm using that to do a search for ductless installation or AC repair and Escondido, if you do not have a listing on YP.com, then your business would not come up. So we have a team that actually manages all of the local listings, the 70 plus different local listings for our dealers. Also in this package, you'll notice that social media is included. How many of you have a personal Facebook page? Just a personal, excellent. How many of you have a business Facebook page? Very good. Why do you guys have a business Facebook page?
You told me to.
I love that answer. In addition to that, why do we have a business Facebook page? Because people utilize social media to find your business, right? I worked with a dealer maybe 6 or 7 months ago. He did a $12,000 job for a 72-year-old grandmother. Pretty decent job. And when he was done, he asked her, "How did you find out about us?" He asks every single customer that. And she told him, "I found out about you on the Facebook." He says, "The Facebook, okay." And what she did is she did what all of us do. When she got up that morning, her air was blowing, but it wasn't cold. She pulled out her phone, right? She didn't go pick up the yellow pages. She pulled out her phone, like most of us will do. And she went to Facebook and asked her Facebook friends for recommendations on who they've used for AC repair. And in about 30 minutes, 5 of her Facebook friends recommended his company. Now, these were people she actually knew. They weren't just Facebook friends from 40 years ago in high school. These are people she really knew that had trusted this particular dealer several different times to come into their home and do good work. And so that's all it took for her to actually choose him as an option. She never actually went to his website. She just found his she used Facebook to find his business. So we'll talk today about the importance of social media, but that's just one of the many things that are covered in the packages that we provide for day and night dealers. Again, our goal is to be able to take the burden off of you to allow you to manage your business or run your business on a daily basis, but allow us to work behind the scenes to drive more traffic to your dynamic website. So yeah, just wanted to briefly show you these packages. You can text us, as Jennifer will explain in just a little bit, to get a little bit more information about the programs and how they start. But without further ado, let me transfer everything to Jennifer Bagley, who's the president and CEO of CIO Group.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You gotta turn it on.
Are you guys the after lunch sleepy crowd? We're good to go? No one ate too much? That pasta, I saw it. I wouldn't touch that. All right, you guys. Let's rock and roll. How many of you are here to grow? If you didn't raise your hand, you're comfortable where you are? Your arms are tired? Again, the pasta? I assume everybody here is here with a specific reason, and that's because you guys want to grow your business. You might want to grow in space. You might want to grow across multiple locations. You might want to grow in the services that you offer. You might want to grow just the bottom line, so you have a bigger margin between what you spend and what you make. But no matter what it is, we've got to figure out in today's day and age, how do you grow a business? And that's essentially what we're going to talk about during this class. I apologize in advance. I'm going to be popping Altoids like a junkie, because I'm on hour number 5. So, essentially, the process of owning the internet, this space, the digital space, where we live, where our eyeballs are plastered day in and day out as consumers, online, on our phones, on our watches, on our computers, on our smart TVs, on our smart devices, with Alexa, with Google Home, all of these gadgets and gizmos, essentially leave or guide consumers in every action that they're making throughout their day. For you as a business owner, we've got to make sure that you guys are set up to be able to operate in that digital space, that you're an option for the services you want to sell, in the cities you want to sell it, on the devices that consumers are using day in and day out. Is that fair? All right. We've got to figure out, how do we take suspects and convert them to prospects? Because everyone's suspect when they first start searching. They become a prospect over time through education, through a website that looks good, things that don't scare them, right? Good reviews, nice design, good brand, doesn't look like a 12-year-old made it, doesn't look like a DIY website. They become a prospect over time. They become a lead because you give them the opportunity to convert, to talk to you, to converse with you, to reach you based on the tools and technology that they like to use. Do they like to text? Do they like to email? Do they like to call? Do they like to chat? Would they rather fill out an online appointment request? And then eventually, if they take action, you and your CSRs have the ability to convert them to a customer with a well-answered call. Right? Not AC. We listen to calls all day long and we know the difference. We can't have a CSR panic because somebody called and said, yeah, I was looking for ABC heating and air conditioning. And they're like, oh no, we're not them. Thanks, have a great day. Versus the one that says, oh, we're not ABC heating and air conditioning, but we are XYZ heating and air conditioning. And let me tell you a little bit how we're different. Something simple as that. That's going to change your conversions. So this class, my hope is that we at least nail down number 1, which is clarity. Without clarity, you cannot focus. Without focus, you cannot execute. If you do not execute, you will not win. You might get lucky, but we win through executing high leverage activities that produce the results that bring us closer to our goals. Again, we win as business owners when we have clarity so that we can focus on the high leverage activities that produce the necessary results to bring us closer to our goals. So tell me about your goals. Why'd you do it? You guys entrepreneurs? Is everyone in here an entrepreneur, pretty much? Yeah. Nice choice. Like, who told you that was fun? I'm sorry. I am too. At some point, you sat down with someone and said it was a good idea to start your own business. Why? You wanted more of what? 3 things. Freedom. What else? Money. What else? Time. Every entrepreneur in any industry starts this crazy thing called their own business because they want more time, money, and freedom. Do you feel like you have it?
None of the above.
I love honesty. I mean, I get it. I don't know, one boss. I have thousands, right? I'm not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I am whenever someone who pays me needs something. That's my new job, right? All of these things. You guys are personally liable for all of the cash flow inside and outside of the company. You've got to pay employees sometimes before you can pay yourself. Most people who are employed, i.e. W-2, who have never started their own business, have no clue what it's like to take out all of your money, take a cash equity loan out, max up your credit cards, and to do everything that it takes to buy all the trucks, get the office, pay for all the equipment, hire the employees before you know if you can pay for them. I know that's real. So, it doesn't have to end on a bad note. What I want is everyone in here to not lose that dream. Don't forget why you did it. If I said I wanted a business owner to create a business with the goal and intention of being able to take 3 months off in the middle of summer, would you say that's a realistic goal?
I did it last summer.
That's what I'm talking about. I would love for you to get on that camera. I had a gentleman in the last class, he said, that is, what did he say? Illogical or impossible? Either way, same thing. The class before, We had a gentleman in the class, he sat right there, he said, that's impossible. We had one of our clients who sat in the same class 3 years ago who says it's not impossible, but I do remember saying the same thing. I took off a month last year and I stopped telling my wife that a dealer meeting is a vacation. It's not. It's a dealer meeting. Yes.
I'm gonna butter it up just a little bit better.
Right.
Thanks to my excellent staff at the other table, we have just finished planning our 6-month vacation.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm here. I travel, so my husband and I, wherever he is, I think he's feeding Jasmine, we travel 9 months a year, and we speak and train and educate. We do workshops all around the entire country and abroad. Everybody always asks where I live. I'm like, I am totally not sure. Where am I right now? I'm like, still trying to figure that out. In the summers, when you guys all get busy, we go home, we live on a houseboat downtown Seattle, Washington on Lake Union. It's beautiful, we sit on the water, we fish, we have our laptops, we're good. But this is why we do this. That story right there, that's real. There is a complete difference between those who start companies who have the right mindset and the right strategy and the right goals, and who execute the right technology and systems and practices and procedures, and who hire the right people to be able to take a break from this dang thing called a business. And it happens all day. It's not a requirement of the business owner to be there. It's a requirement of the business owner to set a plan that allows them not to be there. When you have a goal of freedom, true freedom, the decisions you make are different. You stop listening to people who are not a good index. You don't ask your drunk Uncle Harry about money or your divorced 4 times aunt about marriage. You start, I'm sorry, you know, like, why would you even ask that? That makes no sense to me. Why are you asking him how to market your business? He's a business of one. I see people hire web and marketing agencies all the time who've never grown a business past 3. I'm like, you've made it further than them. Why would you? Okay, all right, we'll just relax. Those who make massive progress find very good mentors, and they ignore the noise, because you guys have noise coming from a lot of angles. People feeding you information that is not always in your best interest, not healthy or not true. It may be the truth to them, but it doesn't mean it's as true as gravity. So, I say that because everything starts here. The more clear your vision is, the less clouded your belief windows are about all of this crazy stuff online and many other things, the more of a realistic approach you can take to acquiring success, to creating progress. Heard a gentleman earlier, he came up and he was like, well, if my phone's not ringing in the first 12 months, I'm out. You know, that's not the results I want. You're gonna learn real quick. If your definition of words is not reality, you set yourself up to fail. If a dealer starts a business tomorrow, or they've been in business for 10 years and they said, I'm gonna do it without a website, and tomorrow they're like, you know what, maybe I do need a website. Maybe that's how I gain freedom. And they launch tomorrow, expecting that that website is going to become #1 on page 1 of Google above 12 million other pages in the first 12 months, and their phone's gonna be ringing off the hook, is not a good definition of results. Now, if they made it to page #2 of Google, and they're only 9 spots away from the cash mark on page 1, that's progress. Creating a definition that is literal and realistic that you can attain will keep you from starting over every year. Those companies who bounce, who have illogical expectations of results, or who aren't planning or executing accordingly, what happens is something I refer to as rocking chair syndrome. Always moving, never going anywhere, busy being busy. Always doing something, changing it out, quitting, starting over. So, we are going to, this is our 1 shot per year, to get as much information, to create as much clarity as we can in this room, so that you guys can start asking some really good questions. Even if the question is, what I say all the time, when I get on the phone with my attorney, I'll ask him all my questions, and when I'm done, I go, now it's your turn to tell me all the questions I didn't even know to ask, right? Because I don't know what I don't know. So it's your job to tell me, you're the expert. All right. Making progress requires a system. When you have no system to follow, it's hard to measure, fine-tune, and tweak things to be able to spit out a different result. This system is a 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results. It is the system we have implemented and been measuring for the last decade. The data behind the system is sitting in something called Google Data Studio. It allows us to sift and sort every metric. I can sit down with the dealer, and in the first 10 minutes, I can basically predict the future just based on what their current state they're coming to the table is right now. What do they come to the table with? Sometimes it's assets, sometimes it's the way they think. Sometimes it's how much they think they already know. All of that data, I can tell instantaneously where this is gonna go. Now, if this system is implemented out of order, it produces negative results. I'll give you some examples. This entire model works when you implement the right things in the right order at the right time. This system is 12 steps, that's what you see here, and there are 12 independent stages per step. I don't have any HVAC, I don't have any plumbing, and I don't have any electrical contractors that have completed all 12 steps and stages. I have other industries, primarily medical and legal, who have, but not this industry. So, here's the example of out of order what it produces. If I have a website that's not built based on today's current requirements of a mobile first website, and I go pay somebody to optimize the site and get on page 1 of Google, if you're violating Google's requirements or your site is not compliant with today's requirements, you lose. That money goes down a drain that's not effective. If you have a great website, no content, but you're going after SEO, you lose. There's nothing for Google to optimize. It can't optimize something that doesn't exist. If you want to get found for ductless air conditioner installation in blank, you gotta have a page for it. Google's deaf and blind. It crawls data on a page. If there's nothing there to crawl, can't optimize something that doesn't exist. Make sense? If I have a great website, great content, and I'm on page 1 of Google and my reviews are rotten or don't exist, you lose. That's when you say, I'm on page 1 of Google for a whole bunch of phrases, but no one's converting. I'm not getting the calls. What's happening? It might be because of reviews. Amazon has basically modified our entire framework to make people subconsciously completely attached to those little stars. And the avoidance of them or the lack of them keeps people from making decisions. It might be you have a great website, great content, on page 1 of Google, your reviews look good, but then the only two-way transfer of information on Facebook, the last time you posted content was 2013, the consumer thinks your business is what? Closed. Right. So you're like, God, like I'm right here, but I can't get over that last step, right? Because something is wrong. If I have a great website, I'm paying for AdWords and I'm driving them to my website, the human beings who click on paid ads are different humans that look for organic results. They're not the same humans. I'll show you in this room. How many of you, when you go to Google and you do a search, click on the ads at the top? Raise your hand and look around. Look around? Raise your hand high and look around. Not if you're just clicking on competitor ads. He said, oh. It's not for research and not to charge them $42 a pop. Only 2 people raise their hands. Out of every room of 100, 2 people max this year will raise their hands. Next year it will be 1. And I've been doing this for a long time. I would literally rather listen to a group of soccer moms tell me how they buy than a marketing and advertising company any day. You don't click on the ads, why? As a consumer, forget about the business. Why don't you click on the ads?
They're ads.
They're ads.
Don't want your information going on.
You're scared of them?
Right, want to be bombarded with.
Don't want to be bombarded. What about you guys? Why don't you click on the ads? Huh? What about you? Not interested? Do you click on the ads? Always. You're a marketer. Is it for research and study, or is it because you're going to buy from the guy who's got an ad on the top?
Just puts me in a better position.
You're talking about as business owner. Okay, so we're not a business owner. We're just talking to mom, dad, husband, wife right now. Homeowners. As consumers. They're trying to sell you something. What else? Those of you that said you don't click on the ads, why not?
You don't trust them.
You don't trust them. It scares you. What else? This is a hard piece to process, because as a business owner, the first thing I want to do is buy ads, because it's an immediate way to get phone calls. I get that. And there's ways to improve the result of the ads by not sending them to your website, but by sending them to a landing page that's only about the service they're inquiring about. Trying to build trust. You gotta work harder for a better consumer. But every audience says they don't click on ads as consumers. This is an oxymoron. This is tough. So, we're gonna get there. Okay? Before I jump into this, as an entrepreneur, would you guys consider yourselves investors in your business? Okay, so let's define some language so that we're all talking the same language first. Advertising is when I spend money, cross my fingers, and hope that I earn back more than I spent. When I run out of money, or turn off the ad, or stop the campaign, I am in the exact same position than when I started. You guys, give me an example of advertising. Yelp. Kind of. Yelp is a tricky one. Facebook. Direct mail, absolutely, right? Direct mail, I turn on the campaign, the mail goes out, the mail stops, I'm right where I started. It's like Groundhog's Day, 5:01 next morning. Maybe I'm richer than I was yesterday. Perfect. TV, is that advertising?
Yep.
Okay. Billboards, perfect. You get my drift, okay? Marketing, as an investor, investing in those things which have a permanent, compounding interest impact on your business. The dollar I spend today is worth more a year from now. Not excited about marketing because it takes so long to get there and get any progress. However, here's the difference. This screen is being recorded. That camera's recording. That camera's recording. They're recording over there. I'll have 4 different videos for 3 sessions of 2-hour presentations. We will slice and dice each one of these videos into 3 to 5 minute segments for each one of them. We'll upload all those videos to YouTube and have around 75 videos from the entire day's presentation. Is YouTube advertising or marketing? Temporary or permanent? Permanent. Why? What do I have a year from now? More what? More views. Okay. So that is an important differentiating factor when you're talking about spending your money on things to grow your business. Always set the stage for the conversation to say, am I having a conversation about advertising, which means I have something temporary that I need to market, or something very difficult that I need to market, or something that I cannot get ranked in organically, and I've got extra cash to be able to burn through it to see if I can win more than I spend, right? That's the same crew that sat down at the blackjack table last night. You know who you are? Let me see if I can pin them out in here. You have extra cash to spend on that. That's fantastic. There's a time and a place for that. From a marketing standpoint, that means you're investing dollars into something that doesn't produce an immediate return, which is a hard pill to swallow for most business owners. But it is permanent. It does produce compounding interest impacts on the business. It does make the business, the health of the business, stronger over time. When someone calls into our company, typically they'll say, oh, I watched like 8 videos, and I'll say, what videos did you watch? And I'm like, okay, everything I said in that video, that's real old, like that's 2014, that does not exist, so I'm glad you called, but we need to get current, because the older the content is online, the more powerful it is. So content positioned in something that's permanent can give you guys permanent compounding interest impacts on your business. The dollar or hour you spend now is worth more in the future. Does that make sense? The third element is branding. Does it make you feel good? Do you have a database large enough that establishing brand loyalty becomes very important. If I was to interview or ask a community or a neighborhood or a city in your area, do they know your name? That brand loyalty would come from branding. And that's something that we all want to get to. We all want to get to where we have a recognizable brand within our areas. All right? But we need to know the difference. So we're going to start with infrastructure, which is step one. If I had the ability to start a company from scratch, which in my own businesses, this is exactly what I would do. This simple version to get organized means I need to get my domain registered, my email registered. I need to make sure I have a place to host all of my company assets, documents, and information. I need my website hosted, security, maintenance, administration. I need a good phone system, accounting system, financial system, a CRM and ERP. Eventually, I'm going to need to move into subscription, merchant account, e-commerce, enterprise resource planning. We'll get there. Said 12 steps, 12 stages. Whew, thank you. Thank you. That's my husband. All right. This next few slides is essentially to help you get set up so that you have a simple, clean, and easy infrastructure. These things are not going to make you money, but they will save you a lot of time. Number one is realizing Google rules this space. When you need to buy your domain name, don't go to GoDaddy, don't go to Namecheap, don't go to CheapHost, don't go to Bob's Domains. Those are resellers of domains. If they go out of business, you lose your domain, it goes into Never Never Land. We've recovered and had to go through that process way too many times. It's not fun. Google Domains is a central location for you to buy and hold your domain registrars. Your domain is www.mywebsite.com. That's what your domain is. A domain registrar is who you pay your $12 a year to. Google Domains is the easiest and safest place to hold your domain. How many of you have your domain on Google Domains right now? I got one. Did you attend one of our classes? No, okay, fantastic. All right, so we have one. Next, you need an email address. Inside Google, there's an application called G Suites. For $6 per user, you can set up one email account for everyone in your entire company using your domain hosted at domains.google.com. We're now less than 15 bucks in. When you first start your email accounts, which this is, no one in here should be operating at Hotmail, at Yahoo, at AOL, at Gmail, at any of that. That's got to go. It has to go. We have to put our business pants on. And this is a place to start. It's simple and it's inexpensive. You sign up for G Suite, you set up your email account. Inside G Suites, they have the ability to set up unlimited groups for free. That means I can set up admin at mywebsite.com, sales at mywebsite.com, service at mywebsite.com, rebates at mywebsite.com. You get my drift? Those are free. You can add as many people to those groups as you want. They don't cost anything, so don't create users for groups. A group is free, users are paid for. The first email address all of you should technically have in your business is some kind of admin email. Why? Because you as a business owner need to set up everything else you do and have under that one email address. Admin at mywebsite.com. If someone in your office says, it's okay boss, I know you don't like technology, I'll take care of it. You go, no, just show me how to do it. You do it on your computer, you set it up on your email address, you buy it, your credit card, you own it. Don't let web companies, office staff, assistants, or your kids buy things for your business. It never works out. Eventually, that's a bad day. Okay? Does that make sense? So you are the owner. Admin at my website address owns the Facebook page, owns the login to G Suites, owns the login to your Google business listing, owns the analytics in your Google account. One email address, use it as your primary administrator. Right now, I know if you guys all decide to join the program, we're going to spend the first month trying to help you figure out what your logins and passwords are to stuff. We already know what the drama is. So I will tell you, you will never have to go through it again because we are OCD about organization. All right, When you have your G Suite account, the beauty is G Suite comes with a complete server system with up to 1 terabyte of data that you can, per user, you can store all your information in. You don't have to buy Microsoft Office Suite. You don't have to buy Microsoft Outlook. You don't have to purchase big servers and hire an IT firm. This is included in your $6 a month user account. It is a dynamic file management system that allows you to manage personal and business files. You can create folders, you can share it. So the first folder you should make with your login, admin@yourwebsite.com, is My Company Branding Guidelines. Because when you start with an agency, you want to go to the folder that contains all of your branding guidelines, your logos, your PSD files, your vector files, all your promotions, your color codes, everything, and you want to share it with that marketing company and say, here's my branding guidelines, go to town. When you need shirts, you share that thing with the shirt company. When you need truck wraps, not trucks, you share it with them. You guys need to be wildly organized and disciplined so everyday things in the business aren't dramatic. They don't take too much time. Make sense? Has anyone been through this process and know what I'm talking about? Or it's taken too long? Okay. Fantastic. Next, grab your phones. We're going to do 2 things on your phones. First, I want to make sure you have the Google My Business app on your phone. So you're going to go to your apps, and I want you to search for Google My Business. It's going to be a little blue house. Everyone in here should have this app on your phone. Why? This is the only free marketing activity you have to take advantage of, and you are the only human that can market this thing well. No agency can do this for you. This is on the list of what are the things that only you can do. When you go to Google My Business, you should be able to sign in, hopefully using your G Suite account, and boom, your company should show up as one of the locations you manage. How many of you can see your company on the app? All right. So about that, when we get done here, you can, I know.
He's just not participating.
What are you doing? Our clients cheat though, they've been through this. So, I would prefer that you didn't leave the room without having that app signed in and see your business. I would prefer that you got that done before you left. So, if you have time, find Jasmine, find Clay, find Mike, find any of our team, and get them to help you. Because I don't want you to come back a year from now and not have this. When you go to Google and you type in a search like AC Repair and blank, the city you have an office in, the little map thing that comes up that has a 3-pack on it, that's what this comes from. It's free. The 3-pack, 3 dealers that are shown on there, the reason they're there is because they earned it. They have the most reviews, most frequent reviews, most updated content, most updated promotions, most updated events, most pictures, most videos. All that takes is for you to pull out that little phone, take a selfie at this event, you can take a picture right now and put it on there and say, I'm at a training event with Ferguson day and night. Do something where you upload pictures on a regular basis. That's on your list of the things you guys should be doing as a company, as well as driving reviews, specifically here to start. All right. Next, so we're still in Google. We're still under one email account. YouTube. How many of you have a business YouTube channel? Okay, fantastic. We got a handful. That's next. Video, wildly important. Why? Because you can make copies of yourself. If you ever woke up and said, I'd do better if there were more of me, that's not a wish. You can make that a reality. I do it every day. Whatever you have in your head you're willing to repeat every single day over and over and over again, if you don't pause and get all that amazing experience and knowledge you have about all these different situations that you've been through into a digital format, what a waste. The problem is, as a business owner will say, I'm busy being busy, I can't produce more content, and then wake up the next morning and say the exact same thing. When what we could have done is digitize the content in a video and transfer that to text, and you have 2 assets that can be used 1,000,000 times over and over forever that produce new results for you while you go do something else, preferably take a vacation. Make sense? All right. Next, Google local services. How many of you are doing Google local services? Now we're in the paid ads area. How's it working for you? Okay. Call quality? Google Guarantee? Okay. That's what this is. So we're still under Google's environment. Google Guarantee gives you a position at the very top of the search engines. You pay per call. If the calls are not great, you can ask for the money back on those calls. This requires you to go through the certification process, get verified, background checks, and so forth. Once you get approved for this, you have a new line of opportunity in your area. All right. So the slides that were blank because the internet's bad. Essentially, you also, under the Google umbrella, Google AdWords, Google Dashboard, Google Data Studio, Google Analytics, all this stuff you need to run the business is all under Google. It is the simplest way. Once you're in this environment, your operating costs go way, way down. Every phone you buy automatically comes with G Suite applications fully built into it. And technically, you now can move to Chromebooks, which cost $200 per employee instead of thousands, and they cannot get a virus because there is no hard drive because everything you do is inside G Suites. There's lots of advantages to setting up the infrastructure this way. All right, the brand. I won't spend too much time on here, but this is what I was talking about earlier. Once you have your G Suite account, create a folder and make sure you have your word mark, your icon, your favicon, PMS colors, that's for print, HTML colors, that's for web, your Google fonts, those are free. If you try and get a font off the internet and you don't buy it, you can be sued for it. So don't go pick random fonts. The only place you can get fonts from is fonts.google.com. Those are free. Branding guidelines, truck wraps, gear, t-shirts, magnets, business cards, signage. Typically in the first 30 days, this is the first folder we're putting together for our clients, just trying to get them organized. Because we can't function when it's chaos. I need everything clean, then we can go. All right. That is step one, 2 modules of step 1, branding and tech. Jasmine, would you like to, how are you doing? Do you have lunch? Okay, tell me when you're ready. So, next is we'll go into is websites. And I'm gonna switch gears. So I'm gonna pull up a couple dealers' website. Here's the reality about websites themselves. Effectively, the technology and framework behind any website lasts for about 18 to 24 months. That's it. Google has some wild changes, some requirements changes. 3 years ago, we were talking about mobile responsive sites. 2 years before that, we were talking about HTML sites. 2 years before that, we were talking about Flash sites. So technology retires itself. They basically deplete the technology. It's gone. We don't use that anymore. We do something else. So last year, Google came out with mobile first requirements. Mobile first requirements included AMP, accelerated mobile pages, schematic markup, a bunch of different things. Without being too big of a nerd. We basically rebuild the website every year, 2 years. How many sites have we built for you? Do you know? 2? Are you on 3? Oh, Jasmine says you're not. Jasmine said 4. You said 2. All right, we'll call it. So he probably doesn't even know. And you're getting a new one. Okay. So here's my logic. If you're paying money for marketing, it's like, I'm going to use a car analogy, but you don't want to pay for marketing on old technology. That does not make sense. The very most important thing about all of your marketing investments is that it's working on a framework that's compliant and current. Websites don't last forever. So we rebuild these sites constantly. Every time we rebuild the site, we learn from the data from the prior 6 months or a year or 24 months, depending on how long the site makes it. And we build different applications. So 1 year we built the SARE calculator, which allows you to help promote what your possible savings are for higher efficiency systems. Another year, we built troubleshooting system to allow consumers to go to a website and troubleshoot problems. Last year, we took the troubleshooting system and we built it into an AI, a smart app, chatbot, where the entire chatbot can troubleshoot almost anything that's simple, things you don't want to go out and charge somebody to go fix, but they can do them themselves, real simple things. And that chatbot wound up, along with the troubleshooting system, getting people to bookmark HVAC sites. That's not easy. It's not like it's a sexy, cool site I want to keep in my bookmark library. But when they have tools on them that help people, they will do that. They'll bookmark those sites. Then we built in systems such as terminology area, the FAQ page. We noticed that people were adding content to their site with terminology that people didn't understand, so we built in something where if you use any of these acronyms anywhere on the site, it automatically shows you the definitions. Built in an FAQ. A while back, we did click-to-call scheduling, we did online scheduling, and so forth. So every year we come out with different kind of functionality that is built into the site for some reason, because we learned something, we see consumers wanting something different. This year we're launching our AI chatbots. And a wild promotion system, which you'll have that in your next version. So here's the way to look at websites. Essentially, a website is a store. Let's see if I can refresh this. If you guys walk into a store and there's no pages on this, or there's no services, no products in the store, what happens?
Walk out.
Right. Okay. So if you look at a website like a store, literally a physical store, every page you put into the website is a new product in that store. You don't have the product in your store, you can't sell it on the internet. So when you look at any site, your guys' progress comes from clearly knowing what do you want to sell, where do you want to sell it? Are you an option on page 1 of Google? Do you look the best for consumers when they get there? And is it easy for them to communicate with you, to work with you, based on what they like? Let's see if we can get this to load now. All right, well, we'll just let that think for a minute. So, if you want to get found for air conditioner service, air conditioner installation, air conditioner replacement, air conditioner maintenance, air conditioner tune-up, air conditioner inspection, AC service, AC repair, AC installation, furnace repair, ductless air conditioner installation, if you don't have a page on your store that specifically has that product, it's like having a store with no products inside. In our world, I can take 1,000 HVAC dealer websites, I can surf their site and tell Google to tell me how many pages on their site, and I can tell you the annual sales volume from almost any HVAC dealer and be really close to the volume except for commercial. I know that a dealer that has 1,000 pages on their website, optimized well, and they're doing step 1 through 12 of the roadmap, I know they're doing 30 to 50 million in annual sales. 600 pages, 20 to 30 million. 25 pages on their website, they're doing less than $250,000 in sales. You guys want to guess how many pages Amazon has on it? You can check the inventory of any website just by typing in the word site, : this is the total number of index pages that Google sees for this website. That is the total number of products in their store that they can take to market. They do pretty well, right? So, all right, we got a little bit of Wi-Fi. So here's the logic. You guys tell me, what do you do when you need something? I what? I Google it. Everyone in here says the same thing. I used to ask people and then show them this afterwards. Now I already know. It's all the same information. If you all know that every human goes through the same process, the majority of the time, forget about all the exceptions, if you Google something when you need it, then what do you need to do to market your business? Yes. So I'm going to say, first we need to understand who Google works. You guys seen this movie? Bruce Almighty? Okay. Every time you go to Google and you do a search, a giant file drawer opens up that has a specific number of pages in it. Sometimes this drawer opens up and it has 54,000 pages in it. Sometimes it has 1,000,000 pages in it. Sometimes it has 100 million pages in it. In order for you to make any money, you need to be in the top 10 of that number of pages for that search term. That's it. So you have a few ways to get there. You can pay ads. You can pay calls, Google Local Service, Google Guarantee. You can show up in the map, what I asked you to download on your phone, or you can optimize your website to show up on page 1 of Google in the top 10 organic results, which requires content. Content is a permanent asset that gets stronger over time. Ads and Google Guarantee, paid ads, those are temporary advertising where I'm burning and churning cash, hoping for a better return than my spend. So this list, if you go on HVAC, if you get a business card from Clay and Jasmine, they'll hand out business cards. We have a website on there that says HVAC marketing websites. On there in the top right corner, there is a link. Actually, I think it's, Clay will send you the onboarding form. There is a link that will show you, and all you do is check every one. It's an inventory list that helps you understand, or at least document, all of the things you want to sell. And it helps really understand the difference between the things you think you want to sell versus what you actually want to sell. So you guys tell me, what do you want to sell? What do you want to sell? Air conditioners. Okay, that was first. How many pages in the drawer? Is this a product or a service? So this is the total number of pages in the drawer. You need to be in the top 10 of that number to make any money. Is that a lot of competition? It's a lot. Okay? That is a product term. Product term equals e-commerce. E-commerce equals your competitors are Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart, Sears, big budget, lots of pages, massive competition. Someone else said furnaces. I want to sell furnaces. How many pages in the drawer? 207 million. You need to be in the top 10 in order to make any money. Give me something new. What do you want to sell? We want to make some money here. Mini splits. How many pages in the drawer? All right. Think from a consumer's mind. What is wrong with that? What do they need? What are they going to look for? Okay. What city? Give me one. Fontana?
Yep.
How many pages in that drawer? Is that better? What do they want you to do with the mini split? There we go. How many pages in the drawer? It's better than 200 million, yes? Okay, give me another one. What do you want to sell? Here, I'm going to help. Lunch is wearing in. How many pages in the drawer? You want to make some money? That's a simple way to do it. Okay? Everyone you listen to, it depends on their background and their experience and the data that they're making their recommendations on, right? If they come from an advertising company, they're going to talk to you about zip codes. If they say zip codes online, run. If they tell you, oh, you need to get to page 1 of Google for AC repair in Los Angeles, run. Because it's not realistic. Yes, someone had a question. Yes?
So the guy right there, he's got the ad, so he's paid.
He's paying to be there. So that's an advertising route to get there. How many of you click on the ads in the room when you're searching?
Just him.
I got 3. Okay? Okay. Yes?
I just got a price for that ad in my area, it's $7,000.
Oh, I love that. I'm glad that's perfect. What's your average ticket size in here for installation and replacement? 10,000. Is that a good deal? $7,000 cost per lead on a $10,000 transaction? Oh, that hurts my stomach. So, here's the thing for ductless. I don't need to pay for an ad for that because there's only 50,000 pages in that drawer. I'll show you an example. Elite. I'm using you, baby. So I'm going to go pull Douglas. We'll go pull the same thing. We're going to go to Bakersfield. Sound all right? We're going to do a search. About the same number of pages. 56,000 pages. There's the ad, there's the ad, there's the ad. You said that they're paying around $7,000 per conversion. There's a lead. Page one, number one. That position gets 70% of the total conversions on that kind of a page, depending on how many humans are searching for that search term. I'm doing this all day long on a low competition search. If I was trying to get onto page one of Google out of 200 million, because I'm going after air conditioner repair in Los Angeles, you might have to pay for ads in order to get that rank and pay that $7,000 ticket for that big of a conversion. There's a lot of competition. But if you nail down the key phrases that are money makers, that have low competition, a relatively decent amount of monthly searches, you can literally, through organics, that's our client, that's our client. That's our client. That's our client. Say that again?
You like underscores or something?
Underscores have no value or relevance online. So, when it comes into what do you want to sell, you need that list. And that list should grow year over year over year. Because it's bigger than AC repair, AC installation, AC maintenance, AC tune-up. What if somebody's searching for AC inspection? Who's going to look for that? Realtors. Why? Because they're helping somebody buy a house. An inspector went out to the property, said your air conditioner needs inspection before we buy, or before our underwriter will clear to close. They're going to search for AC inspection and go look for it. So here, the reality is, if you want to make money, go after the phrases that have the least amount of competition, produce content that is permanent asset for the business. We make it popular through marketing activities, get it moved up to page one of Google. Here's the difference. For everyone in here that is our client and already is on page one of Google, you have a different goal. Once you get to page one of Google, and you're sitting on page one, now you need to look the best when they get there. You've got to convert. When the page is an option on page one, now I care about what's the promotion, what's the giveaway, am I offering financing, do I have a great case study, do I have before and after pictures, do I have a video that pre-sells who we are and what we do when the consumer gets on that page. Most people in the room are not an option for the things they want to sell. Most. That's normal. Once you are an option, when you get to page one of Google, now you need to be the best option for the consumer. So your work is not over. It's not like, woo, I'm on page one. My phone should ring all the time. Consumers don't make decisions like that. They're picky. They have choices. So, when you're on page one of Google, there are different humans that like different kind of communications. We keep talking about this. How many of you guys like to text? You prefer text? Raise your hand and look around. How many of you think all these texters are impersonable and a call is way better than? Raise your hand and look around. Like, they're like, it's really sticky conversation. It's almost like politics. They're like, no, why would you text? Calls, it's more personal. But here's the thing, I can't call. There's no way. All I do is talk all day, every day. Can you tell? Right? So everybody likes something different. How many of you like to use chatbots? You like just going to a website and being able to talk to a bot? Anyone in here? So last three audiences, it was every woman in the room and a handful of gentlemen. Why? Most women are multitaskers. They'll have 5 screens open, 5 chat bots open. You said you like calls better than text, but usually they'll have many windows open all at the same time, and they're like, I scheduled that appointment, I got this one on hold, I'm on hold with Amex, getting our balance for the year, whatever. They're taking care of lots of bots, lots of business. So, here's the thing when it comes to conversions. Your personal likes, dislikes, and opinions do not matter. You have to meet consumers where they are. When do you guys get to take care of things for your house? For your own home? When do you get to take care of your own honey to-do list? I got this like crazy laugh. What else? You can't? You just let it fall apart? Is it Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? Okay. You guys have a honey to-do list business. If your Google business listing or website says you close at 5, that's not good. Because at 5:01, a giant red thing that comes up and it says closed, opens tomorrow at 8 o'clock. But the one below you says open 24 hours. It doesn't mean they do repair and service and installation 24 hours a day. It means they have a website and a chat bot and an online scheduling system and a texting engine that can take appointments 24 hours a day. Don't close your business during the only time the majority of the humans shop. That doesn't work. Evenings, weekends, 2 a.m., they gotta be able to set appointments with you and do business. And they're fine scheduling 20-minute call tomorrow at 10 o'clock on their only break during the day. That works. All right, you get my drift. Okay. I'm gonna go here. So, here are the elements that are critical, just as a summary. Your website is a store. If it's old, outdated, not compliant, not secure, the framework's bad, anything's wrong with that, this doesn't matter. So that's the first priority. That is one of the hugest benefits of the entire Dealer Elite program is you get a new website, not once, but whenever we know you need it. Most of our dealers don't even know how many times they've got a new website. They'll know 2 or 3 times. But we rebuild it. By the time we launch a website, we've already retired that software and our engineers are working on the next cool thing. They're already there. Everything we launched this week is already old. Okay. Secondly, content. This is a combination of you getting content. I don't care if you have to write it, buy it, record it, transcribe it, whatever you can do to get content. It's critical. Literally, the number of pages on your website equal the total amount of sales in total dollar revenue. If you don't keep adding content to your website, your store stays the same. We can't optimize something that doesn't exist. I'll tell you, for the dealers in our program, we measure something called visibility rate. Let's say that this is my entire website, and I have 100% visibility rate or 90% visibility rate. That means 90% of what's available in my store is already an option to people looking for it. I only have a couple options. I can do nothing, and whatever it produces today can stay the same. I can improve the pages on the store so that those pages have a higher conversion ratio and get more consumers to act or take action. What else can I do? Or I can add more pages. Or I cannot grow. The problem with staying in the same place too long is, they say if you're not growing, you're dying, right? Well, in the digital world, that's very real. Because if you launch a site and it stays the same, and the dealers around you marketing the same services in the same area, if they continue to add content and optimization and everything else, if they grow, by nature you drowned. Not because anything bad happened, but because they did something more. Does that make sense? Okay. If you have a great website and you have content for the things you want to sell, what marketing is essentially a sequence of activities designed to help make each individual page more popular than everyone else below it. We need to get those pages to rank in the top 10 options. Once it's there, we need to improve the pages to make them have a better offer, to make you look like a better company, to make you have better promotions, to make you have better case study, anything to make a consumer choose to contact you instead of with their other options. Okay, now, the number of pages in your store, the number of products in your store, the number of pages on your website, so far I've been talking, and we have to be very careful. What you say, which is why, let me back up. A lot of times you guys work with companies that, agencies that don't know HVAC. So they look at you as the expert. You are technically kind of an expert, and kind of not. So if you go work with an agency that doesn't already know you better than you know yourself, then they're gonna say, what do you wanna sell? And you're like, furnaces, heat pumps, air conditioners, air handlers. And they're gonna build you a website that doesn't perform. In fact, you might even say, I want to sell heating and cooling. Now it's really bad because no one looks for cooling repair, right? They don't know because they haven't seen thousands of different case scenarios of data that says consumers look for AC repair, air conditioning repair. If they're from Chicago, they look for furnace repair. If they're from California or Seattle, they look for heater repair. A furnace is something in Freddy Krueger's basement. It's got teeth, there's fire, it eats children, those are scary. You know what I mean? Like they would never say furnace. Those are really scary. This is scary. That's a scary movie. But you guys also have a whole bunch of other things. You guys have wineries, distilleries, dispensaries. You have wine cellars, basements, attics. Or in California or Oregon or Arizona. I don't know about Arizona. You guys have basements? I don't think so. You do? Okay. So, I mean, you have man caves, you have VRBOs. Arizona is a hot VRBO area, right? You got Airbnbs, you have rental properties, man caves, mother-in-law houses, hospitals, churches. The number of phrases, things you want to sell, grows and grows and grows. You're never out of room to add more content to that website, I promise you. If somebody's looking for ductless air conditioning systems for churches in Peoria, California, I want that business. And you know what? That's a low competition search phrase. You can take that to the bank all day. Make sense? All right. I'm going to skip conversions, and we're going to go here. How am I doing on time? Time is it? 2:41? What time do we end? 3? 3:30. Okay, so we're good. All right. I'm skipping to this slide because it's wildly important. If you could predict the future of your earnings, you would make different decisions, right? So when we get past the rubbish is being disorganized, not having logins and passwords, not having all your assets in one folder, not having your branding ironed out, not having access to the things that you need, not having a good website, not having your local listings, not having your social media. There's a whole bunch of rubbish, which is the disorganization of most businesses in the beginning when they're starting or before they hire an expert. When you're doing the DIY, hiring friends, family, and fools, it's rubbish. It's kind of messy. And that's cool. We have to get out of messy and we got to get professional. When we get to the professional stage, here's the beauty of this. Every search term, i.e. service you want to sell, if you want to sell more air conditioners, i.e. air conditioner service in, air conditioner replacement in, air conditioner maintenance in, air conditioner tune-up in, air conditioner installation in, wherever, there are a certain number of humans that look for that phrase in that city every month. That's real. That's data. So data says for ductless air conditioner installation in Bakersville, California, X number of searches happen per month. Say it's 10. That's a real number. 10 people look for that single search phrase. If it's 10, based on what you guys decide your marketing angle is, what you choose to invest in, the percent of eyeballs who get to see you as an option of that 10 for that search term is going to change. So for you, you get Google Guarantee. You're an option on Google Guarantee. Hopefully it displays for that search. For you, you're also an option on paid advertising. For you, maybe you're an option on the map, and for you, maybe you're an option in the top 10 listings below the map. Each one of these places you have the ability to show up is going to increase or decrease the number of impressions, people, eyeballs, who get to see you as an option for ductless air conditioner installation in Bakersville, California. Does that make sense? We're tracking so far? All right. So let's say it's all 10. Let's say you're on page 1 of Google, you got Google Guarantee, you have an AdWord with the landing page, you're on the map, and you're number 1 on the top 10 of Google. Awesome, 100%. Option. Your click-through rate. That is a mathematical number Google Analytics presents that shows you what percentage of humans click through to your website. Of your click-through rate, so let's say that's 5. You have a bounce rate. Your bounce rate says X percent, 30%, 50%, 70%, whatever it is, of those 5 get there and leave. They don't like what they read, they don't like the promotion, you don't have financing displayed front and center, they're out. They're like, I need an air conditioner, I totally don't wanna spend my $8,000 in my savings account on this, I'm going to Hawaii, I'm finding someone with financing. I'm out. That's your bounce rate. You have a conversion rate of the total number of people who you were an option to, they saw you, they took action, and they converted either via text, via chat, via contact us, via AI chatbot, via online scheduling. You get my drift. The more options you give them, the higher percentage your conversion ratio is. That way you catch all personality types, and the more opportunities your CSRs have to win it or blow it. AC? Huh? The number of calls we listen to, where a call will come in and the consumer will say, I'm looking for ABC heating and air conditioning, and the CSR is like, no, we're not, ABC heating and air conditioning, sorry, thanks, have a nice day. I'm like, wow! Why didn't you tell me you were someone else and you were great and you do the same thing and you have more reviews? Something. So sometimes it's blown at the conversion rate, it's blown at the front door. So every one of these pieces from the 12-step roadmap, giving the infrastructure set, to here is either helping or hurting you. This is essentially a giant pie. Does this make sense? Okay. When you take, I'm gonna find a slide that'll help put this together. When you take this data and you tie it into your average ticket size. If your average ticket size for repair or service is $400, or your average ticket size for installation is $8,200, all you do is put that information in a spreadsheet and you can predict exactly how much money you can make for every single page on your website, every single keyword you rank for. You can predict your future. You can know how much money you can make. You can also stop underbidding jobs. You can also stop having unrealistic expectations. You can start investing in key phrases, content, video, conversions, thinking about your promotions you want to offer to increase a number that makes you more money. To increase one number. What if everything looks good, but the only thing that's lacking is you're on page 1 of Google, they're coming there, they're visiting the site, and they're leaving. What can we offer? What can we give? Can we include a thermostat? Can we make it a bundle? Can we show testimonials just for that particular search term on that page? Can we show before and afters? Can we have them download an ebook that basically pre-sells them before you talk to them? Can you give them ballpark pricing? Can you give them financing? Can you tell them that we'll guarantee an estimate over the phone, at least within $300 if you send me 5 pictures? I don't know what you can do, but that's the point where we need to be more engaged and creative in figuring out what number needs to improve. The hard part in the beginning for organics is not being an option on page 1 of Google is the longest wait. I usually tell people you probably won't like us the whole first year doing business with us. It is what it is. It's easier for me to go into it knowing it's real. Because it's not fun to spend money on something and not get phone calls from it. And if you're not paying for ads, you're going after organic, there's no way to cheat the system. I can't tell Google your domain's been around for 10 years if you bought it yesterday. I can't add 1,000 quality backlinks to your website tomorrow. You'll get penalized for that. Some things you have to earn over time. So no matter who thinks what, it doesn't matter because mathematically, you can only win when you play the game accurately. If you don't play the game at all, that's hands-free. Buy more shoes. Go to networking events. Call your database. Go to the church events. Sponsor a baseball game. While our business is growing, while we're trying to get ranked, while we're trying to get our website in place, our infrastructure in place, while we're trying to become a real business, you gotta hustle like an entrepreneur. That means you need to go make your money, shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever you need to do to make that money early. Is anybody in that position right now? You feel me? Like, you have to do that. You have to hustle. Because it takes time to become the top 10 of a million. It takes time to become the top 10 of 300,000. It takes a minute. But it's all doable if you focus on the right thing. So let me leave the floor to you guys. Questions, thoughts. What have you learned? How would this change what you're doing? Thoughts so far? Nada? You're good? Yes?
Comes to a lot of this stuff, but I think I've learned you gotta be specific in what you wanna do, where you wanna do it. I wanna hit the city I'm in in the surrounding cities, and if you specialize in mini splits, you put installation, maintenance, that can all go under that same category, just get it all in one shot, right?
Yes. So a lot of times what happens is I see companies work with agencies, and it's like in the beginning it's this giant like buckshot, right? I got bullets flying everywhere because I'm trying to just grab on and figure out where can I rank and how quickly can I rank there. So you do take kind of a buckshot approach in the beginning. Hopefully you do, or you take no approach of a 5-page website. That does nothing. So in the beginning, we try and launch 90 pages on every website when we first start because we're trying to figure out, I got 6 months to figure out what falls where. Dominoes start falling. As those dominoes start falling, and you see, if I take this search phrase, AC installation in blank, or ductless mini split installation in blank, and I can get to page 2 of Google with limited effort, just basic SEO, I'm gonna focus strictly on this. I'm gonna write more content, I'm gonna do a video, I'm gonna do more promotions, I'm gonna do a press release, and I'm gonna pound that particular phrase to get it up so that singular page starts to produce cash flow, starts making money. So that's a perfect example. That's a great place. If the only thing that comes out of this is you already have an expansive network and you decide you're gonna narrow it, that's a great win. That's huge. What else? What about you? I'm gonna sit down with you guys, okay? I didn't take my shoes off.
I missed the question.
What have you learned? What would you do different? What stands out to you the most?
Out of
Questions?
this?
Yes.
This, yeah.
The ability to mathematically identify where you're going?
Yeah, and the keyword too of shrinking down that because it's contractors, we can be very, using that industry jargon.
Yes.
Where, we gotta use the consumer jargon.
Perfect. So his statement was, what he's taken away is that as a contractor, we tend to use contractor jargon, industry jargon, like cooling, and where we need to think is from a consumer. And a consumer doesn't know better. So sometimes I'll have dealers, they wanna debate. They're like, oh, installation and replacement are the same thing. No. The only thing that matters is the little letters that are typed into a search engine. That's it. Nothing else matters, right or wrong. I had a dealer, he came to an event, it was a Ferguson event, and he was sitting at the edge of his chair. I think we were at the racetrack, and I could tell he wanted to say something, current client. And he's sitting at the edge, and finally I was like, all right, bring it, what you got? And he was like, I don't know what you guys did. See, I want to put a page on my website for geothermal. We don't do geothermal. You don't understand the clay in California, blah, blah, and then it way over my head. And I was like, oh, that's rough. Well, what happened? What caused you to be so upset about it? And he was like, I've taken 4 calls for it since we've been at this event. And I was like, awesome. What'd you tell him? Jeez, that was the silliest I went through. What'd you tell him? He said, I told him we can't do geothermal. You can't do that here, it's California, it's something else. And I was like, awesome, and what'd you do? He said, well, I booked an appointment to teach them what they did me. I was like, awesome, have a seat. Okay. Sometimes the logic, I hear things, okay, a big explosion. Some of this is illogical. If someone moves from Chicago and they know boilers, and that's what they look for, and now they live in California because they're tired of the cold and the snow and freezing my pants, right? They might search for boilers. How odd would that be in California? Right? If it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation, take it. I had a gentleman, he said, Jen, I want you guys to put earthquake shutoff files on my website. And I was like, wow, totally did not know you could shut off earthquake.
I have a question.
Yes.
So it's a lot of information you're telling us, and I know the first year goes through certain things in the second year. All this you're telling us right now, when will we start applying this? The second year?
I love that. So, that's an awesome question. The question is timing. Right? When am I gonna start recouping some of this? Here's the reality. It depends what you're coming to the table with. So, if you come to the table and you have a domain name that's 20 years old, no penalties, you've got 150 pages of content, we're migrating an existing business with a lot of reviews, it has a substantial footprint in the marketplace, it's gonna take them a lot less time, we're gonna be tweaking different elements of this to make progress. But if you come to the table and you have nothing, no domain, no reviews, no social following, no presence, no content, your timeline is longer. And there's plenty of agencies that will promise you that that doesn't matter. It does. So every one of you, the way I explain it to my team when someone comes in, show me what you're working with. I want to sing it. Because it's real. I gotta know, like, you need to do an asset analysis. Show me what you're working with. I gotta see what you're coming to the table with. What content do you have? What pictures do you have? What assets do you have? Do you have a logo? Because every one of the things you don't have is just gonna take longer. So the longer you wait, the harder it gets. I have dealers in this class and the prior two classes that have heard me speak for 4 years. And every year, they're like, I'm becoming a big dealer. I'm gonna sign up. I'll see you at the next class. It just gets tougher. 2 years ago, I stood on stage and I talked about something called schematic markup, where we could display the reviews. Like, that window is gone. It's over. Google took it away. That was a really good opportunity when you could go to a search engine and you could see the reviews on a handful of sites. We got one dealer still showcasing those sites now because Google said the majority of the review acquisition systems are no longer compliant. There is only one review acquisition system, the tool you use, the app you use to go get a review, that allows us to collect a review, display it on your website by city, and to get those review stars to show up in a search results page. But there's lots of opportunities for people to sign up for random review systems that don't have any value for you guys. It's just for them. So, timing depends on when you make the decision and what you're coming to the table with. It also depends on what market. If your business is physically located in Los Angeles, that's rough. That's hard. I mean, no one can change that. You might want a P.O. box in Chico or some, I don't know, give me a city that's around there, right? We want to move out a little bit. If you look for Glendale, we're killing it in Glendale, we're killing it in Bakersfield. We have all of these different locations, but if you're trying to be number one of 750 million pages because you started your business in Los Angeles, your timeline is also different. You might have to spend money on pay-per-click or paid ads because you can't rank organically that quick. You can't trick the system. Make sense? That's a good question, a very valid question. I like that you ask these because these are things that come up. You guys, this is like, you go talk to someone else who shouldn't be answering that question. I like that you asked me, yes.
You pinpoint in your area, then you can come up to the top. Like he's in Phoenix around Havasu, will sell the same thing.
Yep.
Like pinpoint it, my hometown.
Yes.
I get up to that page.
Geofence.
Number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Geofence. You guys might be neighbors. So when you guys all have different marketing agencies representing you, that's a little tough because marketing agencies are evil. So we spend time every month, you have people trying to take you down. They're trying to move your site down because there's only page one, position one. Every month, our SEO team has to go get a big list of backlinks and look for all of the negative backlinks that your competitors gave to your site as a gift that drag you down so they can move up. Bless you, bless you.
Thank you.
So those are the things that happen in the background. Part of it is defense, part of it is offense. So when you have one agency representing a group like this, we're not trying to hurt each other. We're just trying to bring a group of dealers to the top and let the consumer decide. Right? Good questions. All right. I think am I out of time? I'm out of time. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for joining today. And if you guys want to get started, you're ready to rock and roll, Clay's in the back, Jasmine's in the back, Mike's in the back, just tell them which program you want to go. You guys will be in an onboarding meeting in a week. You'll have your design brief done, and you'll have at least a new website to look at within 30 to 45 days. We move very, very quick. I know you're gonna disappear in a month and a half. I already know you will be unreachable as soon as it gets warm. Don't wait till summer, because then your website will take 6 months. It's on record. Start now, get it done, then get ready for summer, and let's rock and roll. Other than that, have a fantastic day.